Back here on CBS Sports HQ, where across the country, NFL training camps continue. And out in Cincinnati, the Bengals just wrapped up practice. And we had boots on the ground as our own Evan Washburn joins us live now for the very latest on what he observed today at Bengals training camp. Let's go ahead and say hello to Evan. Evan, great to see you as always here on CBS Sports HQ. I do want to begin with the Bengals. As we know, of course, locked up Shamar Stewart. Finally, still waiting on things to get done for Trey Hendrickson. We understand he was there at camp today. What is the latest you're hearing?
Well, Jordan, he continues to be a hold-in. He was out of practice here, and there's no updates as we stand middle of the day on Sunday. I would say there's still optimism that they can get something done because they know how important Trey Hendrickson is to this team overall, but especially a defense that's looking to bounce back, that's young in a lot of key areas, including that defensive line, and they would love to have his production and stability. But right now, it's still a hold-in situation.
All right, we'll wait and see. We know you will continue to keep us posted if anything develops there. Bengals fans obviously hoping this thing gets done soon, as this defense struggled a lot last year. Because of that, they bring in new defensive coordinator Al Golden. What's your outlook for this defense in 2025?
Well, you never want to make too much of an opinion based off of one day, but it's clear from those that have been out here daily and then just watching them in these team periods, 1v1s, that there's a different energy, a different juice. Al Golden comes from Notre Dame, but he has ties to this team. He was a linebackers coach here about 4 years ago, so he's familiar with the way things operate. And talking to Zach Taylor, the head coach, earlier today, he's just excited with the way that they're attacking the football, causing turnovers, takeaways, if you will. That's a big staple in an Al Golden defense, highly aggressive, and they're going toe-to-toe, Jordan, with arguably the most dynamic offense in the league, especially from a passing attack standpoint, and they've done really well through the first week and a half of camp, and they're not afraid to talk a little trash, and I think that's the energy and swag they're trying to bring to this season. And the reality is they don't need to be a top 10 defense. They just need to be average and not lose this team games for this team to realize their goals in 2025.
A lot of expectations for this defense, expectations for this team, high expectations as well for their first-round pick, Shamar Stewart, who I just briefly mentioned that they did get locked up under contract finally. How has he looked? Has he come as advertised?
I think so. From a physicality standpoint, he is impressive from the size and speed that you would expect to see at that position, but it's going to be a learning curve. They're going to be growing pains. That's why the Trey Hendrickson deal is so critical. To think that you're going to just be able to plug and play a rookie, even if it's a first-round pick, I think is putting a bit too much on his plate, and I think that's where Al Golden is so critical to this defense overall. You've got arguably two rookies that will be in the starting group. You've got a number of second and third year players. So it's a young defense coming from the college ranks. He's used to dealing with young players. Not to say it's going to be a simple defense, but they want to simplify things so guys like Shamar and the rest of this group can play fast.
Lastly, got to get to the offensive side of the ball. Joe Burrow, I do want to point out, just came out to say that he's throwing the ball better now than he has at any point in his career. How did he look like out there today, and what are your expectations for this offense this season?
He looked good. He was dropping dimes to T. Higgins and Jamar Chase in the team periods. It's important to note, and it's been described over the course of this training camp season a lot, but it's a really critical piece to all of this. It's the first time since really his rookie season, and that was that COVID training camp, where he's had no limitations on him. I mean, you think about the litany of injuries and availability questions he's had, since an ACL to appendectomy to calf to most recently a wrist injury that forced last year to be a rep management or pitch count situation. And talking again to Zach Taylor prior to practice today, there are no limitations, which means he's pretty much getting every rep. And even for an all-pro quarterback that arguably could have been the MVP last year, the reps matter. And I think, Jordan, where they're hoping, I should say, to see that is to start the season. Because as good as Joe's been, the slow starts have been something that have been a bit of a trend, a troubling one the last 3 years, and it hasn't all been on Joe Burrow. But when he's playing at his midseason form, there's nobody better. And they're hoping that they can get that in week 1 and week 2 based off of the fact that he's going to, at least up to this point, make it through training camp with no limitations.
Some incredible insight, as always, from you, Evan Washburn. Another season of Evan just racking up the Flyer miles. Great to see you, my friend, here on CBS Sports HQ. So, Cincy today, all week, our crew will be out at the Cowboys training camp. That's going to be interesting. Any news going on surrounding the Dallas Cowboys? I don't know. We'll find out, I'm sure. Monday, we'll see the Browns. The Washington Commanders will be fun, checking in on Jaden Daniels, year 2 underway. The Falcons as well. We've got all of our crews across the country as our CBS Sports training camp tour continues.